Hello and welcome to Mechwarrior 5 Clans. I'm Shadow Coast and welcome to the channel. In this video we're going to outline 5 basic but critical tips for you to be successful in your clan campaign against the Inner Sphere. Number 1, if you come over to facilities, head over to Science Lab, make sure that you are upgrading your chassis and collecting your chassis milestones. So starting with chassis milestones, we get bonus experience we can apply to upgrade chassis. You actually have to claim this by left clicking or selecting and clicking using a mouse and controller. So make sure you collect that to get extra available Mechs XP and then apply it to the chassis upgrades. These will allow your mech to perform much better in combat, and it is critical to long-term success. So that is tip number 1. Tip number 2, make sure that in your mech bay that you are actively repairing and keeping your mech in tip-top shape. You can see here I am not going to fully heal my mechs for the next deployment, so I'm going to have to be sure to do a couple things. That includes hiring more techs, so in this case I'll hire 2 for this example, and upgrading their work per technician cycle, which improves how much they can repair, and then making sure that your mechs are in tip-top shape when you deploy. So tip number 2, make sure you repair your mechs between every engagement, which I know sounds obvious, but it's easy to forget. The third tip is the Science Lab under Research. One thing you might not be aware of is that you can actually queue up your active research. So if you click on available research, you can select pretty much any of them and put them in the queue. So I'm just selecting a few so you can see on Flamer. When we go to active research, we can then prioritize which ones come and go. Do note that you are going to have the requisite amount that you acquire to upgrade. So I recommend doing some of the cheaper ones first to make sure you get those upgrades quicker, and then prioritizing some of the medium long range ones a little later on that. Now, part of this tip is not just upgrading science and queuing it up, but it's also being sure to upgrade salvage operations. This is critical on the components you can claim, and as you upgrade this, you'll claim more components, which allows you to do more stuff in research, as well as other things to maintain your star. So make sure you're upgrading salvage operations and not forgetting to do that, as well as requisitioning more scientists and upgrading your science lab overall. Tip number 4 is all about skills. So if you head over to your barracks, make sure that you are thinking about how to prioritize your skills when building out your star and lance mates or mech warriors. I tend to like to focus on certain things. So for example, Jaden, I'm focusing on energy range and ballistic cooldown. So he will be focused on energy weapons and ballistics, where if we come over here to Naomi, she's all about the missiles. So make sure that as part of this tip number 4, that when you are actually deploying, if you go over to facilities, you're making sure that, you know, Jaden, if you are focusing on lasers and ballistics, that he's in a mech that uses lasers and ballistics, so you get that bonus. Again, this is a basic tip, but easily overlooked. Make sure as you prioritize your skills, you are applying them to the mech. If you're looking how to assign it, you can click your assign pilot thing and switch them out based off the mech to make sure that you have the right mech to the right mech warrior. Finally, and again, another basic tip, it's all about the battle mechs. Here you can see what you can purchase, but it's important to note that as you level up, you have to unlock the mech before you can purchase it. That's right, make sure you're using your requisition points to unlock mechs, and then they're going to show up on your purchase options. Here I unlock the Shadow Cat, and I can now purchase more Shadow Cats. So those are 5 incredibly basic but important tips for your Mechwarrior 5 clans journey. If you found this video helpful, please drop a thumbs up, and hope to see you in future videos. Shadow Coast out.